Welcome back. Well, summer is officially here, and it certainly does feel like it. And with this warm heat, it's time to start thinking about summarizing your garden. I'm here with Susan out at Hidden Ponds Nursery in Mount Pleasant, and she's going to tell us about a couple plants that do especially well in this warm, low-country heat. Now, what are we looking at here? We have some annuals, perennials.
We have on this table a variety of perennials that tolerate the sun and the heat and humidity typical of the Charleston weather. You have agastache up here, and you have plumbago, varieties of coreopsis. They're a wonderful plant for this hot, humid summers. And of course the Rebecca, a great black-eyed Susan. This reseeds itself. So necessarily the plant, it's not necessarily a perennial where a perennial will come back. The main plant will come back every year and usually come back larger. This one happens to reseed itself, and you'll get lots of little plants from it. Okay. So that's really nice. And of course butterfly weed, which loves the sun, and also the butterflies love this. You will attract lots of butterflies with that.
Now, annuals are the ones that you have to replant every year, correct?
Yep.
Okay, and which ones do well?
These are some of our annuals that do great in this kind of weather, this hot, humid weather. Besides the flowers, you can also do some texture and leaf with coleus. And coleus is now being bred to be able to handle the sun. And then, of course, you have a succulent in your portulaca. This one doesn't need a lot of water, so it's very, very heat tolerant. And then, of course, Angelonia, which is usually the centerpiece of an annual container for the hot summer, and vincas. And then, of course, we have pentas, which, again, all of these come in a variety of colors.
Now, I know you said the succulents don't need as much water, and these are all heat-tolerant plants. How do you kind of gauge how much water they need throughout the summer?
When they're in a pot, you have to think of when you get into your car and how hot it is in your car. That's sort of like, it's hotter in a car than it is when you're outside. It's the same thing for a plant that's in a pot. So it's going to be significantly hotter, and you have got to water it every day, at least once a day, sometimes in this heat twice a day. The best time to water is in the morning, as early in the morning as you can.
And I know Charleston technically isn't the tropics, but we do have a couple tropical plants that do thrive here because it does feel like the tropics in the summer.
I know, sometimes it does feel like the tropics. We have hibiscus, which is just very, very popular. And, of course, mandevilla, which is a climbing vine that loves the sun and the heat. And, again, all of these things that we're showing you, they need to be watered every day. Just because they're heat tolerant doesn't necessarily mean that they're drought tolerant.
Great. Well, these are just a couple plants that do especially well in the summer. For more information, you can visit their website at www.hiddenpondsnursery.com or come out here and talk to one of their gardening experts. Stay tuned, because next week we'll be back talking about how to get those pesky deer to stop making a meal out of your yard. Stay tuned. We'll have more weather and news after the break.